Hello there, welcome back. In this short video, I'll be talking on how to get a table data in Selenium WebDriver using column name. So let me take you through one quick example. So here on my demo.automationtalks.com, I have this particular example of table. Let's say on this particular table, I want to find out some data, right? So now we already know how to write the data by using tr, tds, and table tags. Okay, that's pretty easy to. Now let's say my particular requirement is let's say in search box I'm going to type some name. Okay, so that I'll get some matching result. Now from out of this particular result I want to, let's say, find out what's the position of particular person, what's the salary of particular person. Okay, so what we might be doing is, okay, I want the data from row number 1 where td2 for position and td last whatever 56 for salary, right? That is how we would be writing that xpath. Okay, but what I want is, let's say, I want the xpath based on the header of the table. For example, in my xpath I should be passing, instead of passing it as, let's say, td2, I should be passing the name of particular column, that is position. So if I pass position, it should return me software engineer. If I pass office, it should return me London. If I write salary, it should return me this particular salary, right? How to do that? Let me inspect and let me write down the xpath like what we generally write, and then this one what I'm going to show you exactly. Okay, so for writing this particular xpath, I will start with table where id is example. um, I'll write it here itself. Let's say table id is equal to example. I got this particular table. Now from this particular table I want to go to tbody. From there I want to go to tr1. Okay, now I got this tr1, and out of this tr1, let's say whenever I want to retrieve position, what I will do is I will go to td1 and td2, right? So whenever I want to retrieve position, I will say td, let's say td2. That's for uh, getting the position as software engineer. And whenever I want salary, it would be 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So I would be passing it as, let's say, 7, so, or 6, yeah, 6, so that it will give me the salary, right? So this is what xpath I would be using in general. Let me put it here and let me zoom in. Okay, so what I'm doing is whenever I want to retrieve, let's say, a salary, I would be passing it as, let's say, td6. Whenever I want to make it as, let's say, name or designation, I will pass it as, let's say, td2, and this is how I'm going to write it, right? Now let's say I want to create one method. Let's say public void, let's say, get table data, and here in this particular method what I want is whenever I call this particular method, right, I want to pass, let's say, some string, and let's say whatever, I'll pass it as a key. Okay, so what this particular method is going to do, get table data, let's say whenever I pass, let's say, office, it should return me as London. Whenever I pass salary as a parameter, it should return me this particular salary. Whenever as position, it should pass me it as a software engineer. That means my XPath should be able to read the data based on the header of the columns, table headers basically, right? And whatever xpath we wrote, this particular xpath will not help that, because this td2 is for, let's say, position, td6 is for salary, td1 is for name, right? I won't be able to use this particular xpath into this kind of situation, right? In fact, writing this kind of xpath, I mean, yeah, definitely they are going to help me, but they are not readable. I won't be able to understand, and in fact I need to write multiple xpath, right? For position, one xpath; for office, one xpath; for age, another one, right? Or I might need to dynamize that, which might not be that much readable, which is going to be by following the way what I'm going to tell now. Right, now how we are going to write that? Let's see. Okay, now let's say I want to retrieve this position, right? So for position, what I'm going to do is I'm saying td2, right? So in this particular xpath, yeah, so this particular xpath, what I have mentioned, td2, that is second table data, right? So this is name is first and position is second, right? Now what I want is whenever I pass position, I should be able to understand, like what I want is, instead of hard coding this 2 over here, I need to trick something over here, right? Instead of this particular hard coded value, I need to trick something, right? So here what I need some count, right? So there is some count function in xpath, right? And this count function is going to help us, right? How? Let's see. Okay, uh, before I move into this particular xpath, so this is my base one. Okay, now what I want is, let's say I want the xpath of this particular position, right? So what I will do is I will say tr1, sorry, I want it from header now, right? Because I want this position, or sorry, or let me say I want this position of this particular position column, or I want the position of this salary column, right? So where are they present? They are present into something called as t head, right? So I should be going into t head now. Under t head there is something called as tr, and under tr there is something called as th, right? So what I'll do is I will say, instead of t body, I'll say t head slash tr, it should be tr slash th. Now there are multiple th, you see there are 6 th, but which th I'm interested in? Let's say position, right? So for getting position th, what I would be using is, where it is, this one, right? So here, yeah, this particular text called as position, right? So I'll say where th, and I'll say where text is equal to position, right? Now I got this particular position xpath. Now, or whenever I will write salary over here, instead of position I will get the xpath of salary. You see, I'm getting this salary. Now what I'm interested in, I just want to find out in which td, I mean, what's the td count, right? For this particular salary, what's the td count, right? So now I got xpath for this salary, right? Both are in the same column. Now what I need to do is I need to count the position for this salary, right? So on which index it is. So it is like 1 2 3 4 5, right? So it is 5 index before, right? It has 5 indexes before, right? So how, or let us come here, right? So now how will I get this position of salary, right? So here is salary, right? So how will I get the position of salary? So I'll say I have how many th before, so 1 2 3 4 and 5, I have 5 th before, right? Now how am I going to count this particular th? Okay, so this th, all these 5 th are preceding sibling to current th, right? So what I'll do is I'll say slash preceding sibling th, right? Now I got 5, right? 1 of 5, right? So this particular xpath, whatever I have written, right? Let me zoom it out a bit. Okay, so whatever xpath I have written now, this particular xpath will give me how many rows, or how many, sorry, how many columns I have before the column you are expecting, that is salary column. If I'm expecting salary column, I have 5. If I'm expecting position column, let's say now instead of salary, let me put position over here, right? Now it says only 1 of 1, that means only one column, it has only one column before to position column, right? So this is something is going to help me, right? So what I'll do is now this complete xpath, whatever I have written, this particular xpath I am going to put into this particular count function. So this count function will help me now. Okay, Now let me put this complete XPath here. Right, now can you see what I'm looking for? I have passed salary, right? And what salary it is giving me? Okay, it is giving me it as this, right? So I should do +1 here, because the indexing might be starting from 0. Okay, right, now if you see this particular XPath, you see whenever I pass salary over here, text is equal to salary, it is returning me 132. Let's say instead of salary, let's say I'll pass name, right? Can you see it is giving me the name? If I pass position, it should give me software engineer. Can you see it is giving me something called as software engineer? Right, now whatever XPath I have written, give me a minute. Okay, so whatever XPath I have written, I'm going to use this particular XPath into my method. Let's say what I'll do is I'll say string XPath is equal to whatever I have written, this XPath, right? And let me take it something like this. Okay, so this particular method, right? Sorry, parameter, right? Key. So this particular parameter, I'm going to pass it here. So I'll say something like this, right? So now this particular XPath is dynamic XPath, right? So based on what key you are supplying, that key will get replaced into particular XPath, and whenever you will use this XPath driver.find element by XPath.getText, it will return you particular text. Right, now that's it. That's what I wanted to demonstrate to you. I hope it is clear. uh, Once again, to quickly reiterate, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find out the data from table based on its header. And how I'm doing it, let's say I want this $132,000 dollar per year. I want to find out if it's the salary. What I will do is I will find out how many columns I have before salary, right? So I have 5 columns. How I am finding it? Based on how many th I have before salary. So if this is for salary, I'll say how many count is there for um, which is previous to this particular columns, that is 1 2 3 4 5, right? And then I'm using the function count. I'm using the function count. So this particular count function, whatever I have highlighted, this complete count function, when I have highlighted, will give me as a 5 or 4 or 3 or 2, whatever based on what key I am supplying. And that particular key will go into this td, I mean that particular numeric data will go into this td, and that will retrieve the correct string value out of particular table row. Okay, one more catch. So here I have hard coded it as a tr1. Now based on your requirement, now in my case, since I had a requirement like I need to search it and then I need to get the data from first row, that's the reason I have hard coded tr1. But in your case, you might consider parameterizing it in some way, right? Again, could be anything, where name is equal to Greer or where position is equal to software engineer. Like in after this tier, you can put some condition, where in my case I have simply hard coded it as a tier1. You can put any conditions. Okay, so I hope this video have given you something new. Okay, so yeah, stay tuned. Thank you.